Hello, it's old school book nerd Sam. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to do a couple things, one of which is I'm going to do my first ever reading vlog. Because I'm almost 53, so it's about freaking time I would do something fun like that. First, book haul time. Woo! I try to save my book hauls for when I've brought a huge stack home from the store. Those that are seeing this for the first time, I own a bookstore, so I'm surrounded by books all the time. It's really hard not to bring every single one home. So I have to calm myself down every time I open a box and tell myself that it's okay. I don't have to bring it home. So starting with this book haul quickly, I have a little bit of a cold, so I might cough and my voice sounds weird, but I'm going to talk fast. So starting with ARCs that I brought home this week, we have Is This a Cry for Help from Emily Austin. Her book, Interesting Facts About Space, was one of my favorite books last year. I didn't read the book that came after it. It just didn't appeal to me. But this one does. I'm reading the blurb really quickly. From the author of the beloved hit, Everyone in This Room Will Die Someday Be Dead, a hilarious, heartbreaking novel about a good marriage, bad mistakes, and the enduring power of the local library. So it just sounds more my speed than some of her other books, so I'm excited for this one. And then we have The Vanishing Cherry Blossom Bookshop. This is a Japanese translated book. I haven't read any of those. They're supposedly like super light and cozy and just feel good. And this one spoke to me because bookshop. Duh. So an enchanting novel that will linger in your heart long after the last page is turned. Welcome to the Cherry Blossom Bookshop, a mysterious haven for book lovers that appears only during the fleeting cherry blossom season. Nestled amidst the blooms of delicate petals, you'll find a sanctuary for those burdened with regrets and past sorrows. And this comes out in February. So hopefully I'll read it before then. And lastly, one that comes out in December, Murder at Donwell Abbey. This is a Jane Austen related cozy mystery. Let's see, who is, it's one of her sisters. It's Emma Knightley. It's a Emma Knightley mystery. So, I love this. I mean, I just love anything cozy and Regency, and throw in some murder and winter and snow. This is going to be a great December read. So, those are the ARCs that I brought. Now, two books that I brought because I fell in love with The Autumn Bride when we did it for a book club a couple weeks ago. And so, since I can't resist really good storytelling, I brought home The Winter Bride, which is the next in that series by Anne Gracie, which I will be reading in the winter. And then the first in her other series about a group of sisters, real sisters, as opposed to Autumn Bride is found family, The Perfect Rake. So these are two historical romances that I'm hoping to get to soon. And then some other fun things from the store. Just came out, The Princess Knight by Kate Jacobs. I'm pretty sure I've read some Kate Jacobs before. I don't remember. I do not retain a lot of stuff. So this is Clea and Domhnall are an ideal match, or so everyone says. Heirs to neighboring kingdoms, they are an alliance the gods smile on, until Domhnall ruins everything by refusing to propose. Determined to salvage the situation, Clea follows him to the military academy he's attending. Sure, the castle has a brutal reputation, but how hard can dueling really be? So, feminist, romance, knights. I'm really looking forward to this one. And then I found this on a damaged shelf. So when books come to us damaged from publishers, we report them to the publisher, and then we can give them away to people. So this one Serial Killer's Guide to Marriage. I'm starting a mystery book club at my store next year. Hey, anybody from the store who hasn't heard that yet, surprise! That's one of the things we're announcing in January. So I brought this home to give it a try to see if it's something that the book club would want to read. The blurb. Two former serial killers trying to keep their past buried realize that old habits die hard in this sharp, compulsive thriller. So it sounds kind of funny, fast-paced. I'm not a big serial killer girl, but this looks a little bit lighter than the traditional serial killer. So brought that home to give it a try for testing out for the book club. And then another murder mystery. Everyone this Christmas has a secret. I'm pretty sure this came out last Christmas, but I didn't buy it because I hadn't read any Benjamin Stevenson. I read or listened to the audiobook of Everyone on This Train is not a victim, not a witness, a suspect. That's it, suspect. And really enjoyed it. And I know he has a new one coming out. Like, I think Everyone in This Bank is a robber or something like that in the spring. So I got this for a nice light Christmas mystery. And then lastly, Lessons in Falling. This is an indie press from a local-ish author to us who emailed the store. And so I looked her up, and it sounded really cute, so I'm going to give it a test. It's a 8th grade math teacher who's, very has her life and rigid and things like that. And her friend convinces her to do an impromptu getaway to Chicago. She has an accident there as she's going under or coming out from the surgery in Chicago. She confesses some things to the surgeon, who then turns up in her local bar. And he's the only one that knows this secret about her, whatever it is. So it looks cute, rom-com-y, set in Philadelphia, so close to where we are. So looking forward to that one and supporting a local indie author. So that was my haul. None of that I'm going to be reading this weekend, I don't think. I need to do my last 2 rolls for the Halloweekend, getting out of the haunted house. And I'm going to do that now, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about what those rolls got me, what I've chosen, and I'll wrap up the 3 books that I read for my previous rolls, and then we'll just start reading for the weekend. Okay, we last left Gandalf in the dining room, the scary room, right at the doorway, and my goal is to get him from through the, what room is this? The living room and through to the bedroom and out the back door today. So I'm going to start by rolling a single-sided dice, a 6-sided die, to get a prompt for the red room. And then we're going to move through the yellow room and try to pick up 2 books to read this weekend, or at least get started this weekend. So the first roll going through the red room is a 6. Well, he's going to have to kind of do a loop-de-loop if I want to get a red room book. So 1, 2, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. And that is space number 14 in the red room. So that is prompt 14 in the library. And that is read a book written by a BIPOC author or drink a fall-themed treat. Well, that's going to be easy. I can easily find a book on my pile by a BIPOC author. Not a problem. So we're going to try to get through in 1 roll. It might be 2. We might end up with 3 books this weekend. Yeah, we're going to end up with 3 books this weekend. So 1, 2, just into the bedroom, the yellow room. And that is space number 11. And that prompt is Read a book with a summer or fall setting, or watch Halloweekend reading sprints. Oh, I'll be able to do that. I'm planning on doing those tomorrow. So maybe I don't have to have 3 books. Okay. Big roll, big roll. 4. Nope. 1, 2, 3, and 4 at the desk. Nope, that's not actually a spot. 4. That is prompt 7 in the bedroom, and that is read a book recommended by a booktuber or do something to appreciate the season. So, we'll see. I am easily influenced by booktube suggestions. Sure, I can find something there. And then let's see if we can get out or if we're going to get another book. No, we're getting another book. That is space number 8. Moving really fast. Read a book with yellow on the cover or get a spooky book. Well, I don't do spooky, so yellow cover. And I'm out. Yay, Gandalf is free. Woo! So I was thinking I could do this in 2 rolls, and I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4 rolls, but some of these are going to be fun activities rather than reading. So let's go back to my reading chair and see what we can find to match these prompts. I sat here for a long time looking at my shelves, trying to figure out what I've heard about from BookTube as opposed to threads, as opposed to people talking in the store, as opposed to me reading catalogs or just appearing on the shelves. And I'm like, oh, that looks good. I came up with 4 that I'm pretty sure I heard about on BookTube. Well, one I've previously read. I know I previously read it, but it's related to BookTube. So I'm going to give myself some leniency. Before we go through those 4, the other prompts. One was a book with yellow on the cover. So I'm going to read A Prayer for the Crown Shy by Becky Chambers. I absolutely loved Psalm for the Wild-Built. I've been putting this off for over a year to read because I was worried that it's not going to live up to Psalm for the Wild-Built. It's a short one. I can knock this out tomorrow easily, hopefully, knock on wood. And it fulfills a prompt for Mama Needs to Read Romance and Tara over at Tea and Biscuits, the fall read, which finishes next week. So it's part of the bingo for that. And then one of the prompts was to read a BIPOC author. And we're actually doing this for a book club next month that I host, Be a Revolution by... And I'm going to pronounce this wrong, and I deeply apologize. It's me. I can never pronounce anything. Ijeoma Olu, who has written several books that became uber popular right after the George Floyd incidents and the Black Lives Matter. And I'm really interested to read this. We're talking about how to be activists in our community as part of the book club. So this is from a BIPOC author. And then we had the role of watching or participating in reading sprints, Halloweekend reading sprints. Well, I'm going to do that tomorrow. That was already on my plan to do tomorrow. I think there might be one this evening I might try to do. We'll see how we're going. So now the prompt that gave me the most trouble is books recommended or you heard about on BookTube. We'll start with one I know I heard about on BookTube. Although I think I've read other books in this series. But Amy was doing I'm pretty sure she did a vlog about cozy mysteries set in bookstores. And this was one of the ones she recommended. So it's The Body in the Bookstore by Ellie Alexander. I've read some of Ellie Alexander's other books. I think I might have read the first book in this series or other books in this series. I'm not sure. So, but that fits something that I heard about on YouTube. This one I know I heard about on YouTube. I cannot, old lady brain, cannot remember who, but it just intrigued me. I'm not a fantasy or romantasy reader at all. I mean, like, it is not a world I enjoy. Cozy fantasy I'll do, but like regular fantasy, But this one just intrigued me because it's time travel-y in the sense that they're multiple lives and they're joined together through some weird bond. And that just intrigued me. The whole past lives, being able to remember your past lives and having sworn enemy through the past lives. And again, it's pretty slim. So that is a possibility. And I know I heard about it from a booktuber. I just can't remember which one. This, I can't pinpoint, but I know it's got to have been on someone's most anticipated holiday romances or something like that. I know I've seen people talking about this one. It's been on my shelf. I got the ARC months ago and I've been holding out. So we're getting closer to the holiday season. So this could work. And then the last one is the one where I'm going to fudge it a little bit. It's a book I read many years ago. I'm well aware of the series. It's not like anybody on YouTube had to tell me about Bridgerton. I read all of the books when they first came out. But one of the prompts for the fall bingo that I'm doing, that I mentioned before with the short book, is Masquerade. And so I Googled, historical romances with a masquerade, and this came up. And this is one of the later Bridgertons. It's, I think, the youngest son. It is Gregory Bridgerton, and it's the final book in the original Bridgerton series. I don't remember much of it. I don't remember any of it, to tell you the truth. But so I thought I'd give that a try. Heard about it on YouTube and the fact that the bingo is a YouTube bingo. So I'm counting that. So I have these 4 to choose from. And I'm not sure where I'm currently listening, or I'm going to start listening to the Greenhouse, the Enchanted Greenhouse, the second of the Spell Shop series. So I don't know if I want to do listening to a fantasy and reading a fantasy. So I'm going to take that out. And I'm taking out the B.K. Borison because I really am saving this for the holidays. So do I go cozy bookstore mystery? Do I go smutty historical? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm going to let the dice decide. Odds, mystery, evens, Bridgerton. Let me go get the dice. I'll be right back. Pardon my dirty little reading table here. So we said odds for mystery, evens for Bridgerton, and we have got a 1. So odds, mystery. So we have our 3 books for the final weekend, or my final weekend at least, of the Halloweekend. We have Body in the Bookstore for something I heard about on YouTube. We have Be a Revolution for something by a BIPOC author. And Yellow on the cover, A Prayer for the Crown Shy. So we'll start this vlog in just a bit. Let's get some tea, let's light a candle, let's find a snack, and we'll get to reading. Okay, so it's about 3-ish to 33-ish on Saturday. I literally just walked through the door from work. Last night, I started reading Prayer for the Crown Shy. I thought for sure I was going to be able to get through it. This cold is kicking my butt, y'all. So I ended up falling asleep reading it on the couch. But I'm probably about a third of the way through. I'm absolutely loving it. It's so much more philosophical, I think, than the first one was. I know a lot of people said the first one was very philosophical. To me, that was much more just cozy vibes. And this one, so it's about a monk and who, in the first book, they travel up to a mountain and meet a robot. And this is a land where robots and humans have been separated for at least 2 or 3 generations. And then in this book, the robot is traveling back to civilization with them to learn about what it is to be human. And just in the first 2, 3, 4 chapters, the monk, Dax, is starting to doubt what they want to do. They're a tea monk, which means they serve tea and help people with their problems. And they're showing what I would consider classic burnout symptoms. And at the same time, the robot is asking some very deep questions about what it means to be human, what it means to be conscious of your existence. So I'm really digging this. I would liken it to some ways to the Tao of Pooh, which is out of print for copyright reasons. But as long as using the characters of Winnie the Pooh to describe Taoist theory. So it's very similar, it has a vibe to that, where it's two creatures talking about philosophy. So I hopefully, when I come back tomorrow with an update, we'll be done with this and can move on to my next book. I did also realize that I said I was going to, I didn't update on the previous 2 weeks of Halloweekending reading. So 2 weeks ago, I drew a prompt of a book that was published in the fall. And for that, I read Life and Death and Giants, which came out in September. Loved this book. Could not put it down. It was so good. It is the story of a boy, but it's his whole life. So it starts off when he's being born in a very rural, small town in Wisconsin. Or is it Minnesota? Wisconsin. And his mother dies. His brother raises him for a while. Then his brother passes. And then his grandparents take him in. His grandparents are Amish. And there's a story of his growing up. It's told through 3 perspectives. His grandmother, the Amish grandmother. The local barkeep who discovers his physical prowess and starts coaching him in baseball. And then through the local veterinarian who has a whole backstory that is very dramatic and traumatic, who befriends the family and befriends him. And he has a gift with animals, so the veterinarian taking him out. It's a really beautiful story. There's so many elements of love and hope and community in it. So I do for literary fiction readers, for those looking for found family type of stories, I highly recommend that. And then my other prompt 2 weeks ago was a book with 4 words in the title. And I chose Let This Radicalize You. It's one of my book club books. This is, I don't annotate like a lot of people do. I fold down pages that I want to talk about in book group. I don't know if you can see how many pages I folded down and little notes and highlights and stuff. This is for people who are leading movements or trying to lead movements or want to start leading a movement of some sort, be it very small in their neighborhood or statewide. And just kind of here's some pitfalls and here's some ways to do it well, and here's how to think of community. Community, again, is very much the center of this book, and a lot of mutual aid talk is in here. Very interesting. It doesn't really pertain to anything I'm doing, but I found it very interesting if you know anybody who is working, especially in something like the No Kings movement, This is a great book. And then the prompt I had last week was a book with Halloween colors on the cover. Initially, I picked a cozy mystery, which I don't have here anymore. I thought I had it sitting right. Here it is. Initially, I picked Foul Play in the Foliage. I didn't read it because I had also, at the time, just started a cozy mystery on my Libro FM. Plug for Libro FM. It's a great alternative to the other place for a book club, an online book club. And I realized, well, duh, it very much has Halloween colors. Posting that here. And it's called Perfectly Proper Paranormal Museum. I mean, it's complete with black cat on the cover and everything. I have about an hour left. Still no clue who did the murder. And I'm really enjoying the characters and the banter between the male cop and the female lead. I'm hoping that that's the romance, because in cozy mysteries, there's usually kind of like a side romance. I'm hoping that's the romance that happens. I know who I want the killer to be, because he's a real, I don't know, just seems like a real ass. So my plan today is to take another nap, because the cold is killing me. And listen to that last hour before I start my next audiobook, which is The Enchanted Greenhouse is my next audiobook. And to just hang out tonight and read this. And then I will check in Sunday morning. So it's Sunday morning now. I stayed up longer than I should have finishing this book. But once I got to like the last 40 or 50 pages, could not stop. It is so good. So it's a Prayer for the Crown Shy. I love the explanation of the title too, but I'm not going to give it away. I can't really say much about it because it gives a lot away, but needless to say, it's a robot and a human that are traveling in human lands, and the robot is trying to learn about humankind by asking the question, what do you need? And it comes with a lot of different answers. And the ending of the book is so beautiful. So highly recommend this, even for non-sci-fi readers. Technically it's sci-fi because it's another planet, it's dystopian, and there is a robot. But it's literary. It's 100% literary philosophy. It's so good. So next for me on my last Halloweekend, it's just to do stuff around the house day. The biggest thing I have to do is organize my piles of books and call out some stuff because I don't have room for everything, and I keep bringing huge stacks home. So I'm going to work on that for a little bit, and then I'll wrap up my weekend with you. That was a little sweatier than I thought I was going to get, but I got everything organized. So I'm going to flip you around and give you a quick tour before we hang up for the day. So I've decided that I'm going to start collecting and reading a cozy mystery series that I stopped in the middle of. So here's the start of my collection, and basically I'm just going to be getting them used. Then we have basic nonfiction that eventually I'll get to. Here are my piles, my unhaul piles. So this pile here is going to go to some little free libraries. I have 2 on my street, so I'll take a walk later today. And these 2 are going to the bookstore to sell as used. Reorganized my cart, so my priority reads are going to be up at the top here. I've got book club books, and then I started pulling out all my wintry themed books to get ready for my next readathon. And then the master case here. We have my ARCs in order of coming out, so I know priority is this side. My priority nonfictions, things that I really want to read. Then a very stuffed 2 shelves of romance. I have a shit ton of romance apparently, and a lot of it's older stuff, so better get reading. And then my mysteries, and like I said, I'm starting a mystery book club next year, so this will fill out quite a bit. Then we've got our fantasy-esque, sci-fi-esque books, and lastly, just general fiction. So that's it. Thanks for hanging with me this weekend. I'm going to go get a nice long drink of water and sit down in my chair and pick up a book off the shelf. Have a great read, everybody.